flake of Georgetown flint. This is a small sandstone hammerstone, also anvil stone for pressure flaking. This is was a large sandstone hammerstone that was broken in half, and now I'm using it as an abrader and hammerstone. Turning the edges, flaking down this way so that I can turn over and remove this cortex. There's a little bit of a split on this flake from the platform, so I'll remove that. Okay, now that we're turned, we'll switch to our little hammerstone. Pinching the edge and getting a little dull. Use a little abrader if I need to. So we've got this edge turned down so that we can remove the cortex here, and I've got a rise here, so I've got my edges turned to take some flakes across there. So let's do that. We'll just give it a little pinch on the edge. Hammerstones really beat the work well on this size of a flake compared to the antler. Let's put less stress into the thinner pieces, and that's quick work of contouring and flattening, and then just doing random work because we're not worried about pattern, because we're going to punch this here in a minute. Brush, brush, brush for the abrade and pinch. So we're getting good balance. Moving a little heavy corners and building some convexity. Let's go ahead and trim this edge down and then clean up the rest of this. So these little nipping flakes to thicken, and then the harder sandstone to turn a little bit in the braid. And we'll just do a little smoothing. It's fun to be able to have a slower speed relative to antler and to do some quick and easy thinning with the hammerstone. When I watch people do hammerstone work on small projects, what I see mistakes people make is that they're using support. I can't wear a glove because you can't feel it, and people tend to back off on their edge and hit with a hammerstone generally too far in with a round hammerstone and too hard a hammerstone, and they're doing a lot of pecking, and so I'm making contact with the edge, but I'm overstriking it slightly, and the facet that I have is the right width for this project for kind of quick thinning. And I'm giving a little brush, and see where my finger is? It's right on the edge, and then I'm catching it with a little overstrike. And I'm taking nice feathering flakes off. A little space. Move over, another one, see? Little space. Switch into support with my middle finger. Where it's flatter, you don't need them longer, so I won't trap if I'm just doing little trimming flakes into the flat. Just sort of let them just trim off into air. Move the edge back. Now our edge is so thin here, so we can just lose some width and start one way or the other. And fairly soon, I like to take hammerstone work further, but I'm going to go on the assumption that a lot of people probably don't have the right grit of hammerstone and aren't experienced enough to keep going, so I'm going to go ahead and do just a little bit more and then show the punch. So let's just do, see when we got our edge turned here, and we can just follow this ridge. So we can pinch. Now on this, I'm sort of using the corner more for those little flakes. This platform, see how I have this edge is high, but I have a little ridge, and even though this area is really flat, because I've got this bump on there, I can use the hammerstone to carry through and take a scalloping flake. It's gonna get underneath there. It's gonna end in a little hinge, but oops, I didn't catch quite enough of it, so I gotta stop. And some of those you have to kind of catch the overstrike, and I didn't. So let's do what I was gonna say, and we'll clean that up with a punch. So went from removing the cortex, except for right there. We're getting some strength and convexity. And now let's punch out a simple arrow point or dart port. All right, part 1 over.